Welcome back to the channel. I'm Brain. Well, the highly anticipated Metroid Dread came out today, and I thought I would share with you my first impressions of the game, as well as take a look inside the special edition box set. But before we begin, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. That is the best way to let me know you enjoy the content on this channel. Now let's get started. Okay, let's open this up. This is the Metroid Dread Special Edition box set. Okay, so inside here you've got a steel case. Oh, it's not an extra steel case, just the whole game is in the steel case. Sometimes you'll get a plastic case and the steel case. So here we've got a little, appears to be a booklet. Open this up, let's see. Oh, so Nintendo Entertainment System, Metroid. So these are just little cardboards of the various games in the series. Seem to be all the 2D ones. Of course, the Metroid Primes aren't on here. And then a book, Metroid Mission, or to read upside down, Mission Logs, Journal and Missions. Take a look inside this real quick. Oh, and something I just noticed too, on the box here where the steel case and the cardboard cards are, there's a little artwork here. So that's kind of a nice touch. Okay, so here's the book. Some beautiful artwork, and I'll post up some pictures here overlaying a little more detail so you can see these. I won't go through all of them because there's just a lot here. Let's see, the book is in length, it is 191 pages, so there's definitely a lot to that. And there's the back of it. The spine. Alright, so that's pretty much it. That's what you get in the box. So the first thing I want to point out is that there was no day one patch for this game, which is nice to see. You know, you've got what should be a pretty stable version of the game day one, so if for some reason one day down the road you don't have access to update it anymore, you can pull the cartridge out, put it in the Switch, and just keep playing. The game opens up with some cutscenes kind of getting you caught up on what the story is, and this isn't super impressive, but it's pretty good information. This doesn't go on for too long, which I appreciate that. I've seen some of these type of scenes just take forever to get through. Now, what I'm going to show you here, I would be remiss if I didn't put this in here. After this opening cutscene, there is an absolutely excruciating long load time. This, I timed it out, took 35 seconds to load, which is just a really long time to stare at a blank screen. It would have been nice if maybe they had put a graphic up or something to make this less excruciating. That being said, this is the only time I really noticed much load time in the game. There was maybe one point where there was about a 2-second black screen before a video played, but otherwise it only happens once, so I can live with that. Now after that long load time, we get to what I would say is the actual opening of the game. So you're greeted with a really nice opening cinematic, and it seems to be running at probably about 30 frames per second, but overall it still looks really nice. And this leads me into another point of the game that I want to point out, is that the game does move in and out of the action and the cinematics very seamlessly. You'll be walking into an area and it'll completely change into a cinematic without any load or pause, which I thought was really cool. It really immerses you into the game. Now just a quick word on amiibo usage in this game. The other Metroid related amiibos can help replenish your energy and your missiles. Now, the 2 that were released for this game are supposed to give you an extra set of missiles and an extra energy tank. I didn't at the time of this video have any to test, so I can't confirm that, but I thought I'd share it. Now, it's not too much of a spoiler on the gameplay to say that the game has missile upgrades, energy tank upgrades, and you gain new weapons and new abilities as you play through the game. There are also hidden items in the game that kind of flash the map screen whenever you're in an area where there could be a hidden item. Now, taking a look at the map, one thing that's kind of neat on this is even when you get parts of the map added to your inventory to be able to see, it doesn't show you the full map. It just kind of gives you a block outline of where the different areas are. So you still have some discovery to go through when you go through those areas. Now, one of the main gameplay elements involve these EMMI enemies, and when you first encounter them, you really can't do much to fight them off. You just have to run. Now, some of these can be quite challenging to avoid, but you'll want to look at your map and follow the little red dot to see where he's at and try to avoid him as much as you can. Now, sometimes he's meant to kind of drive you into a new area that you couldn't get before, so that's kind of cool. You feel like you're just kind of running at random trying to get away, where the game is actually putting you where it wants you. And another element that's nice is if you're fighting a boss and you haven't been able to save and you die, or if you're at a key element of the game and die, then it doesn't always start you back at your save. It tends to start you back right before that key element. So that's a good time saver, so you don't feel like you've lost a whole lot. And after playing the game for a few hours, I unlocked a Phantom Cloak, which allows you to hide from the EMMI enemy, but this has its own meter that drains down, so you can only use it for so long. But it also gives you the ability to get through some doors that had like a motion sensor that closed. So now you can invoke this cloak and get through there when you couldn't before. So my final thoughts on this game is I've really enjoyed playing it for the first few hours here. The EMMI enemies can kind of get tiring, especially if you can't figure out how to get through and keep getting killed by them. It usually doesn't take too many tries before you can get past it, and the game generally starts you back just right before the encounter with the EMMI, so you don't feel like you've lost a whole lot of time to try to get back to that one point to then die again. Since this game was created by the company called Mercury Steam, they're the same ones who did the remake of Samus Returns on the 3DS. I wasn't really sure how much I would like it because I had mixed feelings about Samus Returns remake. Most of it had to do with the counter mechanic, and this game does have that, but it doesn't feel like it relies as heavily on it as Samus Returns did. But I think one of the best aspects of this game is just the way that it transitions in and out of cutscenes seamlessly. You don't feel like you're just going to set the controller down and wait and watch something. You can walk through a door and the scene will immediately start, and it doesn't take forever. It may just be 15 seconds and then you're back into gameplay. Sometimes it may be longer, but it just feels very smooth and seamless. So right now I'm pretty happy with this game, but what are your thoughts? Drop me a comment below and let me know. Until next time, be good.